Well, we have a very active weather pattern setting up as we head into the weekend. We'll be watching two pieces of energy that potentially could not only bring some snow for places like Texas and Oklahoma, but maybe even into the Northeast too. Thanks for checking the video out today, guys. We're going to dive into this real quick, but if you want to keep updated, make sure you subscribe. And I say that because I have been sending short videos out. These models they're doing the windshield wiper effect right now, where they go one way, then they correct the other, then they correct this way, then they correct back. And as we get closer in time, you'll see them start to come together. We're starting to see some consensus though in some areas, and we're going to talk about that today. Let's first talk about what's going on heading into your Thursday. Now, out in the east, where we are potentially going to see some snow into the early part of next week, we're way too warm for snow. A little chilly though in far northern New England, parts of Maine and Vermont, New Hampshire, still seasonably cold, but that warm air is surging to the north and east as we move through the day Thursday. Showers out ahead of our front here, and then snow showers behind our area of low pressure that will be moving through parts of Minnesota, even parts of North Dakota as we move through the day on Thursday and then into Friday. Snow showers across the far southwest. These are going to be associated with our next system that moves into parts of Texas and Oklahoma. Now, rain showers will continue to expand east on Friday, so look where you are on the map. For the most part, you may be dodging these showers here in these areas. Either way, I think we deal with a lot of clouds here with that overrunning moisture. Then the rain starts to pick up, especially as we head into Saturday across the deep south. Some of that rain starts to get heavy as we see that influx of moisture off the Gulf, and then that rain picks up into parts of the deep south from Mississippi, Alabama, even into the Tennessee Valley. Now here comes our snow back across the Four Corner states. Watch what happens. It starts to translate just to the east of the mountains, and then low pressure starts to form here over Texas. On the backside of that, cold enough for some snow. And the models have been coming into agreement with that potential for that snow here somewhere, say from the northern panhandle of Texas through Oklahoma, and then maybe into Kansas. I think Kansas is questionable, but it's been interesting to see how Oklahoma has continually showed up with snow over the last couple of model runs. Low pressure now on the afternoon European model run, moving to the north and east, bringing rain to the Tennessee Valley, warm air surging north out ahead of this track, and then snow on the northern side of it. It's moving pretty quickly, so it doesn't look like a lot of snow falls, but once that low reaches the east coast, that's when some interesting things start to happen. We see rapid intensification right here off the northeast coast, and that could bring a round of heavy snow here to, say, northern parts of Pennsylvania, New York State, and then parts of Vermont, New Hampshire, even Maine. I think we're a little bit too warm with this run for, say, New York City and Philadelphia, but there's still a lot up in the air. Just a quick shift of a couple 100 miles or even 100 miles could mean the difference between rain and heavy snow. As that system exits, we turn cold behind it. Snow showers start to develop around the Great Lakes as we get that lake effect snow machine kicking in, and then we turn seasonably cold here from the mid-Atlantic into the northern plains, even into the Great Lakes and New England. Snow showers remaining here, and then we'll watch a clipper system late next week that potentially could impact these areas. The GFS also saying, hey, look, if you're in the panhandle of North Texas, Oklahoma, parts of Kansas, the potential for snow is growing here. I'm starting to feel a little more confident about that, and also to the northeast of that into Missouri, maybe even parts of Illinois and Indiana. Southern Michigan, maybe. Okay, I don't know that you're completely out of the woods, and maybe even Ohio. It's going to be right on that borderline between rain and snow. But look what happens if you shift this track just a bit to the south, move everything a little further to the south, and then you're into snow for Columbus. Right now it looks like just rain, but I would keep an eye on this one. As it moves to the north and east, the GFS says, boom, there goes your storm, rapidly deepening here off the northeast coast, bringing heavy snow here. It's a quick mover, that's the thing, and then behind it some snow showers and cold air. And yeah, this could put down some decent snows here into New England. And then look, behind it, colder air, and then the potential, just like the GFS, for a couple of systems moving through. Maybe some disturbances in that northwest flow could bring a few clipper systems. And I'm going to take the GFS out in time because, look, it stays stormy as we head through the 18th, the 19th, and the 20th, and we stay cold here. This is a chilly pattern across the east. I mean, I don't believe the GFS at what hours is 324 hours out, but it just, you start getting feedback issues with the GFS and any of these models once you get out in time. But either way, it looks like we stay kind of stormy through the end of the month. Take a look at the snow totals here on the European. There's that snow from the northern Texas panhandle through Oklahoma. The GFS also likes this strip of snow here from northern Texas into Oklahoma. It's a little heavier on the moisture. I feel like the European is a little closer to probably what we'll see. But again, the idea is if you're in these areas, keep an eye on the weather over the next couple of days as these models refine themselves. And then look, here's a closer look at the GFS as it moves into the northeast, putting that rain and snow here into parts of Pennsylvania, quickly changing over to snow, and then some heavy snow here from New York State, Not quite down to New York City, but look how close it is. It may end up some snow in the city, but some heavy snow, it looks like here from southern New England, from Hartford north into Springfield, all the way into parts of Vermont, New Hampshire, and then into eastern Maine. I'm feeling more confident about this, especially with the latest model runs over the last day. Here's a closer look at the European from this afternoon. A similar track, that idea that we stay rain here along the coast is starting to show up more and more. So are we seeing the models narrow down? Well, if this continues to be the trend over the next couple of days, I think you start to solidify that. And I'm starting to buy into it just a little bit more, especially that most recent track with that snow here versus maybe a little closer to the coast. That's the European snow output. And you look at the ensembles, almost all of them are picking up on someone getting a heavy band of snow. So I'm feeling confident about that more and more. And the European ensembles also targeting this area a little more too, with those averages as we head through the first part of next week. Now, once we see this storm move out, what's interesting is that we stay cold. All right. I don't know that we stay cold per se January standards as we head into March, but look, as we end February, this is a cold and stormy pattern. So if you want to see snowstorms form, this is the pattern that you want to see. And that's what we're seeing. I mean, you could have a massive ridge, right? And that would totally be the end of winter. I don't see that just yet. All right. Still some winter to go. Spring's right around the corner though, right? All right. Thanks for watching, guys. Have a great one.